All right, it seems like we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the Open DAO. So this is one of these knowledge sessions. And today, okay, the first part, right, we're going to do all the negative examples, okay? So please don't do this at home, okay? This first part is about how to get REKT in the metaverse. So REKT, okay, for some people who don't know what it actually means, it basically means just getting destroyed, okay, or ruined. Yeah, so there are many like different ways to get REKT in the metaverse. And today I'm just going to show a couple of ways that you guys get REKT, right? Yeah, so the technology is new, the interface is new, and there are so many ways that you can get scammed of all your ether and all your money and your NFTs, right? Yeah, so yeah, please watch this carefully. If you get lost somewhere, okay, it's completely fine. You can go back and watch the live stream on YouTube later on, okay? And if you have any questions, please keep it right at the end. You can write it down or you can type it in the chat. Later on, I'll answer all of them as well, okay? And welcome everybody to the Open DAO. Okay, so let's say, right, if today I want to create a new account, okay, usually I'll just start a new profile, okay, and always type in your own links, okay? So metamask.io, okay? So we got to install back MetaMask. So we're gonna download, yeah. So they're actually fake MetaMask. So I won't show you guys this, okay? But this one you can see that is probably the real one. It'll show that there's quite a lot of users in this. The rating is not particularly good, but there are about 10 million users. So let's just add this to Chrome. So after you add to Chrome, usually you'll come out here. If you can't seem to find it, right? Okay, you have to just go to the top right. Oh, my computer is really lagging, I think. Okay, yep. So what we'll do is we'll right click and we'll pin it. Wow, it's really lagging.
That's probably because you're live streaming and everything
with it. Yeah. Okay, let's go. So of course I'm going to start a super secure password 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Yeah, so what's the problem if you use a standard or common password, right? So if somebody gets on to your computer like physically, then they might be able to transact your ethers and stuff. So I don't need to watch this, I'm too smart. But of course if you have time, please go here and watch that. So of course I'm going to like paste this somewhere like Dropbox or some notes, right? Like this one is the iCloud notes. Yeah. So of course that's like the safest place to put it. Yeah. Hey, there are two puzzles. This is such a horrible. Yeah. So by the way, if you're looking at this, right? Okay, all these notepads are absolutely not the right place to put this. Okay, these seed words. We've heard of people getting hacked and all that, right? I mean, cloud storage is totally not the place you want to put it. Yeah, and definitely 12 seed words are quite shitty actually. So in terms of the encryption and all that, it's quite horrible. So you aim to go for 24 seed words if you can. Yeah. Um yeah, so sometimes you are new to this interface, right? You don't know what the heck is going on, right? You might try to click around and maybe there are some like support guys, they might want to talk to you on Discord or Twitter or Instagram or whatever. Instead of clicking this button, you actually contact them. Sometimes you might live stream, right? They might ask you to show a couple of things, right? So you might want to fumble and then they might even want you to click this. And oops. Okay, so if you're live streaming this or somebody asks you to share screen, and then you open this, immediately, right, this guy's going to screenshot this and boom, there goes all your crypto and stuff, right? So that's how easy it is to get to this private secret recovery phase. So I don't know why they do that, right? I mean, to allow people to actually find this so easily. I think they used to review the private key. Let me see whether they still do that. Yeah, I think there's an upgrade to this MetaMask. Yeah, but if yours is the older version, okay, it will allow you to review the secret key, but between revealing the secret recovery phrase and the secret key is actually basically the same thing. Yeah, so this is how close you are to getting REKT, right, on just using MetaMask. Yeah, so okay, the simple way to try to circumvent this, right, is to get a hardware wallet, right? So there are some pretty good ones. So the Ledger .com is one of these good ones, which I highly recommend. Yeah, so there are two models. One is just one can connect to mobile, one cannot, right? So but they're pretty good. So another one is Trezor.io. There are two models as well. There's this older model as the newer model. I wouldn't recommend buying the older model. The older model has some software issues, so it might not mean for some of these newer NFT projects. Yeah, but I think the newer one is fine. I think this is the newer one. Yeah, so always key in your own one. Don't buy from any other marketplaces. Just buy from these two places. Okay, so if you have a hardware wallet, okay, it would really save you a lot of heartache and all that, right? So you might think that, oh yeah, it's fine, it's just a couple of $100 my NFT today, but you never know, right? Your NFTs might suddenly become, you might moon, or it might suddenly become a lot of money, right? Yeah, so they even tell you this, Ledger will never ask for your 24 seed words. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to close this and switch gears. Okay, so sometimes, right, if you're new to crypto or NFTs, right, you might be very FOMO, so okay, so anyway, right, okay, this is completely burned already, right? Because I shared with everybody. So anybody who has seen this, screenshot this, okay, they have access to that particular account, right? So that is a burner account. So you should never ever touch that account. Okay. So the other thing is the Discord, right? Okay, Discord is quite a horrible software, but that's pretty much what we have. Okay, so if you go in, okay, to any new server, you might want to click this thing. Okay, so you go into the Open DAO, for example, you click these privacy settings. Okay, and you might want to turn off this one. Okay, I'm fine, because sometimes I want people to DM me, right? But if you're new, okay, I might recommend you to just turn this off, right? Don't allow people to just DM you. Yeah, because what you're gonna get is one of these things. Okay, so if you guys don't know, right, there's this Fanta Bears, right, that just recently moon, right? So you'll be very FOMO, you like fear of missing out. You'll be like, oh my god, I missed that thing, right? And suddenly, okay, you get this really legit looking thing, right? This guy sending you this thing. Oh my god, this is like a bonus sale, right? And thank you for your patience, right? Finally, you have a chance to remint this thing. Okay, so let's say if you go and click into this, okay, this is the official website. Okay, but if you actually click onto this, right, this particular link, right, the sale is live, right? Okay, it brings you to this particular website. So if you can see, okay, ezclub.minplatform.club, right, this is a different URL compared to ez.io. Okay, let's try to go to the ez.io. Oh no, wrong. Oops. ez.io. Drag this over. So, okay, always key in your own links. Okay, so this is the official website. Okay, and this is right now the fake website. It looks kind of legit, right? Okay, so sometimes if you're not looking properly, NFT people always never get enough sleep. You FOMO and you want to just buy 20. Okay, you go here and mint. Okay, so they ask you to connect your wallet. Okay, so connecting your wallet is actually generally safe. So what happens is that they have your wallet address, which is public anyway. Okay, so right now, right, there's something that's going to pop out. Okay, so this is very dangerous. Okay, don't do this at home. Okay, I'm not like that afraid because I actually have a hardware wallet, which is hidden somewhere else. Okay, but if you don't have, okay, that might just be, you're one step away from getting wrecked. Okay, so what we can see, right, after you try to mint, right, okay, you're going to get this function, this thing that comes out. You'll be like, strange, right? Looks kind of legit, right? Okay, and in your FOMO-ness, right, you might actually just submit this thing. Okay, you might actually just submit this thing. But if you study this thing, actually, right, okay, you can see that the function that you're calling is sending if. Sending if, a little bit fishy. Okay, and then you can click into this. Okay, so if you're not aware, okay, this is actually the one on your left side is actually your own address, okay, and then the one on the right side is the address that you're currently interacting with. So always, okay, view this thing in the block explorer, okay, and make sure you always save your addresses that you have actually interacted with. Oh no, I shouldn't save this. Okay, maybe I should just save this as a fake website. Okay, so if you can look at this, right? Okay, this is actually what we call externally owned account. Okay, a contract account will have this thing called contract, and then there will be like this little icon with a paper and a book. Okay, which I'll show you later. As you can see, right? Okay, there are a lot of people which has fallen to this scam, which is very sad. You know, these guys. You see, they transfer how much inside? You know, 0.3 E, 0.3. Somebody tried to mint 10, some people try to mint 10, right? So I mean, this is not like small money, you know, this is actually quite a lot of money, you know, for these guys, right? And you can see like some of these wallets, some of them could belong to new guys, some could be, you know, pretty senior guys, right? But they still fall for this trick, right? So if you can look at it, right? Okay, sending ETH. Okay. So the question is, if you're trying to mint something, why is it asking you to send ETH, right? This is like really strange. Okay, so this is a huge red flag. Yeah. So never ever do this. Okay. So I'm going to reject this before it blows up. Okay. So if you are using just like a MetaMask as your only wallet, you know, and then you don't have a core wallet and you're like not sleeping enough or something, you know, that could be the end of your wallet. You know, that could be end of all your money. So yeah, this is like kind of my address book. So I kind of like every contract or anything that you want to interact with, you kind of like want to look at it and save it. And never ever interact with a contract or any wallet that you don't know or you can't read. Okay. So yes, there is some that I can't show to you. Okay, there was one recent hack, right? The recent social phishing attack, right? There's some weird website. Okay, it looks almost exactly like the MetaMask, you know, and then something will pop out, which I can't show you right now. If I find that, right, I'm going to show to you guys. I should have taken some screenshots. But it looks exactly like MetaMask, you know. And the strange thing is, it will ask you for your seed words. So if you key in your seed words, then well, that's the end. Yeah. So I'm going to move on to the next one. Okay. So on this bright sunny day, 26th of December, I received this very interesting so-called free airdrop. Okay. So this is called a meta DAO token. So it shows that somebody interacted with some contract, which is kind of looks like legit contract. Okay. The Uniswap contract. And he sold 2 Ether for this lots and lots of this meta token, right? And then he sent it to my wallet. So I received it. So it looks very strange, right? Okay. And then if you actually key this into the DEX, right, you actually show that, hey, maybe this token actually has some kind of value, right? Okay. But if you actually look into it, okay, if you look at the contract, oh wait, wrong, sorry. The MetaDAO token, I clicked the wrong one. Yeah, so you might be very tempted to actually want to interact with it, right? Well, if somebody, you know, bought this thing for 2 ETH, you might be able to send it back, right? And to sell it back for 2 ETH, right? Very tempting, right? Yeah, so maybe you might want to try to click on it. Yeah, so this is so-called the token contract. Okay, so Etherscan is very nice. It's kindly told you that this thing has REKT. And what does it mean by REKT? They actually tell you like the details into it. Yeah, but if you actually look into the contract, the thing is, okay, you can't even read the contract. You're like, what is all this, right? So any contract that is not open source, right, is a huge red flag. So don't ever interact with any contract that you can't read the thing, right? So I'm going to show you how they actually create contracts that look like this, right? So later on, we will go into a bit of a deep dive. Yeah, so this is another interesting airdrop that I received. So this is called like a A68.net token, right? So, and again, Etherscan has very kindly done this for us, you know, fake phishing, you know, so they've labeled it. So, of course, if it sounds very strange like that, right, you know, you might not want to touch it. But since I'm very FOMO, you know, I'm very FOMO for all these SOS token airdrop, maybe I didn't get it, you know, I want to get this A68 airdrop, right? Okay, so maybe I try to type this A68.net into the browser and I came to this website. Okay, so let's try to get this airdrop. Okay, it looks pretty well, it looks pretty decent. Yeah, unifying the entire financial ecosystem. You know, it's kind of featured on Cointelegraph. Oh yeah, it's gonna be like all in one token. Oh, okay, well, okay, it looks pretty cool. Okay, let's try to claim our airdrop. Okay, let's get our airdrop, okay, guys. So let's see what happens. So again, okay, don't do this at home, okay? I'm sacrificing, my wallet to try to show you guys this thing, but please don't do this at home, okay? You will get wrecked for real. Yeah, seems like, yeah, I can swap this number of tokens for Ether. Wow, it looks like I'm gonna get 10 Ether. Let's check it out, okay? I think my computer is like obviously lagging. Part of the reason why it's taking so long, right? Okay, is because this contract is actually looking into my wallet, right? Trying to see what kind of interesting things they can pull out from my wallet to steal. No, nothing's happening. Let's just wait a while. Yeah, in the meantime, let's just have a commercial break. Yeah, so if you go into Twitter, okay, there's this magic summoning spell. Okay, the magic summoning spell is called I need MetaMask and Coinbase help. Yeah, so once you type this anywhere in your like status or in your messages, right, you'll be able to summon this bunch of zombies. Let's try to see these cute little zombies and what they're writing. Okay, wait, my computer is obviously lagging. I should close some of these things. Okay. Hey, if they've gotten smarter. Now they ask you to go and email them, right? And send a direct message to this. They used to just drop some forms and just blatantly ask you for your 12 your 24 seed words. So obviously you can see, right? These are like personal Gmail addresses, right? So don't ever like message them, don't ever interact with them. It's probably some crap and they're probably gonna try to scam you. Oh no, Roder first try to summon them as well. You're like, see what he summoned. Yeah, okay, let's try this link, okay? Interesting. Okay, don't try this at home, okay, guys. Just don't do it. Okay, strangely, the contract is not happening anymore. I don't know, something is happening. It's not working anymore. So usually what's going to happen, right? Okay, there will be an approve message, and then they will actually ask you to approve, right? Whether you want to spend your Aave Rep Ether. So that's really crazy, right? Okay, let's try. Let's try it again, okay? So sometimes if you're not reading the thing properly, okay, and you actually, go ahead and click, right, then you're dead. Yeah, I think the website is not working properly, but what will happen usually, what is supposed to happen is, do you allow this particular contract, which you can't read, to spend your Aave Rep Ether? Okay, so usually, right, okay, if you are selling a token, they'll ask you whether you can spend this token, right? But it's not, it's actually asking you to spend another token. So that's very, very dangerous, right? So please read what appears on your MetaMask. All right. Yeah, so unfortunately, I can't seem to show this to you guys. Somebody want to say something? Okay, so next up, right, I'm just gonna cover, right, oh, okay, this is some WhatsApp, okay, don't care. So next time I'm going to cover, right, what are some of the kind of things that MetaMask will ask you to sign for, okay? So the most basic one is called a signature request, okay? So for example, if you guys are on our snapshot, on our open DAO snapshot, if you vote or if you sign in to collect land or something like that, it will ask you for signature. So signature requests are generally quite safe. Signature requests, they do not require any gas. Okay, so again, it's lagging. But I think most of you guys would have seen, right? You ask, do you want to authenticate this or do you want to sign this? But of course, right, make sure that you're interacting with with a website that you know, right? Okay, I'm going to close all this. I think it's really causing the lags. Yeah, so if you guys know, there's a snapshot that is open right now. So if you try to vote on it, okay, it will ask for a signature request. Okay, so you guys can look at this. Okay, so it clearly says signature request. Okay, so you're not interacting with any contract or anything, but okay, it's basically a signature request. So these ones are generally quite safe. Okay, the only thing you need to know is make sure this website is the website that you are currently logged in and the one that you really want to sign your signature on. Yeah. So okay, the second mode of interaction is again quite straightforward. It's actually sending ETH. Okay, so if you just click send here, okay, for example, you want to send to this particular contract, okay. Oops, what happened? Sorry, man, I got rocked. Yeah, but usually what you see is you see sending ETH, you know, like what happened to the one you saw just now. Oh, right. Sorry. This one says contract interaction because I'm sending ETH to a contract. Yeah. Okay. So maybe you should send to a normal person. Okay. Yeah, that's actually a multi-sig wallet, which is a contract. Sorry, it's lagging so badly. Okay. So for example, let me try to send to. Oh, okay. Let's try to send. Okay. For example, I send to some crypto.com account. Okay, so you guys can see this. You guys see this sending ETH, all right? And this one appears. There will be a name that appears if you have ever interacted with this address or you have actually saved it, right? So you can actually put a nickname inside. So that's actually quite important. All right, yeah. So sending ETH, okay. So this is quite standard, yeah. So yeah, so the next type of interaction is called contract interaction. Okay, so basically you are trying to press some buttons on a particular contract. Okay, so we are going to dive deep into this right now. Yeah, do you guys need a short break before we dive deep into the contract interactions? Yeah, okay. Okay. Okay, so okay, so OpenSea, right? Okay, there are a couple of interesting fake OpenSeas as well, and they look exactly the same sometimes. You know, sometimes it comes in the form of like somebody will DM you like, "Hey, look, you know, I've got this body, you know, I really need liquidity. I'm going to dump it cheap or something, right?" They'll send you a strange link. So if you click into it, okay, sometimes you might be fooled, right? I mean, it might look exactly like OpenSea. Okay, so but always type your own URL, okay, which is OpenSea.io. Okay, and you can try to search your own items. Okay, if you know the contract, okay, you can paste the contract here, and OpenSea will suggest to you the particular thing that you're looking for. Okay, so today I'm going to run through the Atom Bomb Squad contract. Yeah, so I'm also huge in Atom Bomb. Yeah, so if you can see, right, okay, this one is called a verified collection. Okay, you always want to look for this verified collection tick. Yeah, and so all these are probably fake. You know, you might not want to like touch any of these. So okay, let's just go into anyone. This the official one. So of course, if you don't know the link, okay, sometimes it's also good to go into Discord. You know, usually in every Discord, there's official links. Okay, but sometimes there's been this kind of hacks, right, where people actually swap out that link. So yeah, so make sure you guys check the thing properly. Yeah. So you can click on any of these NFTs, okay? And you might be wondering, hey, where do the NFTs actually live, right? They actually don't live on OpenSea, okay? So OpenSea is actually the app, you know, decentralized application that is interacting with the blockchain. So if you click into any of your NFTs, okay, the details, you'll be able to see this thing called a contract address. Okay, so if you click into it, it will bring you to Etherscan. Okay, So so you can see, right, just now the fake website, the fake main website, right, was externally owned account, right? So it doesn't have this word. So you can see that this is called contract, right? So contract means that this is actually a software, a code, right, that lives on the Ethereum blockchain, right? It's not actually operated by a person. A person can't really, control it. Okay, but what the people can do, right? Okay, they can actually run functions. Okay, so we're going to run through that. Okay, so if you look into this thing called a contract, okay, and there's a green tick, okay, that means the contract has actually been uploaded and it is open source. Okay, and that is actually very, very important. Okay, you can see this thing called a contract source code verified. Okay, so this doesn't make it like 100% safe, but at least it is safer to have this kind of thing, right? And you definitely must at least read the source code yourself, before you go out there and just interact with any source code and any contract. Yeah. So if you don't know how to read it yourself, you should ask a friend, a trusted friend, to kind of read it. Yeah. So I'm going to kind of deep dive into this. Okay. So the thing the powerful thing about the Ethereum, right? Okay, is that it's written in this Solidity software, Solidity language. Okay, so it's not particularly incredible kind of a language. Okay, but what it does is that it is very rigid. It is what we call a very explicit language. So it makes you spell out every single thing, right? Which makes it actually safer for us. Yeah, so there are definitely better software out there. There are always like new blockchains coming out saying that they are better, they are faster. Well, that could be true, right? But right now, Solidity and Solidity related kind of software and code is still the most widely accepted. So as an ecosystem, yeah, this is going to stay around for a while, right? Yeah, so if you are like new to the coding world, this is probably a good thing to learn as well. If you can write Solidity software, your salary should be upwards of 10,000 US dollars per month. Yeah, quite easily actually. Yeah. All right. So Solidity. Okay. So this one says the version. Okay, Pragma Solidity. This is the particular version that's locked in. So import is like you're actually borrowing software from other people. So Open Zeppelin is this incredible open source organization. Where they compile all these little snippets of code for other people to use, right? Code is something like that, right? Like people will keep using the same contract, the same code over and over again, right? So why not everybody just pull your heads together and write out a great contract? Yeah. So if you see like contracts using other people's contract, especially these great open source contracts, it's usually a vote of confidence. Yeah, it makes this contract so much easier to read. As well as it's trying to tell you that they're actually currently using the best practices out in the market. Yeah. So how do you confirm that it really is the contract, right? Okay, so you can actually look into this later, right? Okay, so this one, right, ERC721 SOL actually refers to this particular file here. Okay, so you can actually copy this whole thing and actually search it up on the internet. You should be able to find all this code, right? All this software and code, right, readily available on this thing called GitHub. And you can actually match it line by line, right? So if you know that it has not been edited and is open source software that everybody uses, okay, it generally gives a good vote of confidence. Yeah. So ERC721, right, basically defines a unique token, which is what we know as NFTs or NIFTs. Yeah. So ownable is a contract that says that this token is actually possible to be owned by somebody. So payment splitter is a kind of contract that we use to determine how many percentage goes to the treasury, how many percentage goes to OpenSea and stuff like that. Yeah, so it allows the users to allows the contract owner to designate certain things. Yeah, sorry. So the contract owner is actually this person, right? So this is a created address, and obviously this is probably either the dev account or it could be even like the Adam Bomb Squad multi-sig wallet or something like that. Yeah, so it has created this. Yeah, so this is the contract owner. Yeah, so the contract owner actually has a lot of power, which later I'm going to show you guys. Okay, so counters is just a kind of contract to just count numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, to make sure that there's ever only going to be 25,000 atom bombs, right? So this is actually a very pretty important function. If you see backslash, right, it's just comments. so they are there for aesthetics, or sometimes they are there for advertisements, like this nervous.if. So it's trying to tell you that, hey, look, I wrote this contract, if you need help, come and contact me. Yeah. So all these are for, so there are more advertisements. And so contract nervous NFT is, okay, so this one, right, they can actually call it anything they want, right? Okay, but basically this is sort of like the main function, the main contract in this entire thing. Oh, sorry, actually it's written here as well, nervous NFT.so. Yeah, so they can call it anything they want basically, right? But usually they will name it after the name of the project. Yeah. So is, right, is basically a way to say that this contract has the properties of this contract and this contract and this contract. Okay, that means the code from these three contracts are now included into this giant thing. Okay, so this one is also something like including, right? So just now the counters contract that you saw above, counters.so, so they're also including it as a class. Okay, as one of the things inside. Okay, yeah. So uints, right, is a kind of variable. Okay, you just think of them as a box. Okay, so the coders are creating a little box. The little box is called the variable is uints. Uints is actually stands for unsigned integer. Okay, that means a number going from 0 to 256 digits. Okay, so basically it's a large number, 0 to a large number, no negatives. Yeah, so public means that you can actually access this. Later I'm going to show you how we can access all these public functions. Okay, so public, and this is what this coder named this particular variable, what this particular box. So he's labeling this box as max tokens, and then he's saying that, right, the max number of tokens is 25,000. But of course this is arbitrary, right? So if the writer of the contract wants to be nasty, right, they can actually mess up all these terms. They can make it very difficult for you to read the contract. But obviously they're trying to be nice here. They're trying to tell you that there are 25,000 max tokens, and this is, they're trying to calculate the price. If you mean 1, is this price. If you mean 5, is this price. And if you mean 10, is this price. But the strange thing is, why are there so many zeros, right? So if you actually study, right, the thing, right, the smallest unit of ether is actually Wei. Wei stands for Wei Dan, which is a very smart cryptographer and mathematician. So 1 ether is actually is to the power of 12 zeros. Yeah, so if you, sorry, I think I must have messed it up. 12 zeros or 18 zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Sorry, it's 18 zeros. I actually forgot that. Yeah, so the 1 ether has 10 to the power 18 Wei. Yeah, so you sometimes the more commonly used one is called Gui, right? Okay, which is also a giga Wei. Yeah. So if you divide that by 10 to the power of 8, okay, divide by 18 zeros, okay, you'll get 0.1 ETH. And you'll get this and this number. So they have made it very nice for you. Okay, they have written the comments for you. Okay, but you can actually do the math yourself as well. So this variable called Boolean, okay, is basically yes or no, true or false. Okay, it's like a switch, yes or no. So it's trying to tell you that has the sale started, true or false, right? So it's basically some kind of way to control the minting, so that people don't mint anytime they want. Yeah. So this string, right, stands for, oh no, is something ringing? Okay, I can't go there. So string, right, basically stands for like a string of words, right? So string basically stands for like sentence. Yeah, so basically he just put in this, again, this is an advertisement. Yeah. So constant means that it's a variable that cannot be changed. Yeah, and he just named it R for whatever reason. Yeah. So the constructor, right, okay, it's a little bit, it's basically some certain properties, right, that you put into the contract only on the first time you run it, which means the time that you deploy it. Okay, but basically it's just trying to set this thing called a base URI. Okay, so the base URI is a concept that we'll touch on later. It's basically like a string of this URL and address. So if you guys don't know, right, actually most of our NFTs, like 99% of them actually don't live on the chain. They actually live on this base URI. And that's where the picture comes from. Except art blocks or certain on-chain NFT projects, right? So those live on the chain, right? Like 100%. Yeah, but most of our NFTs actually don't. They actually live on another server. So I'm going to show you guys how to get that later. Yeah, so functions, right, are actually very important. Okay, so functions are like buttons. They are the ways that we can interact with this smart contract. Okay, if the function is not set right, okay, then you basically can't like interact with the smart contract. Yeah, so you can see that, right? The name of this is the name of this button. Okay, the name of this button is called set base URI. Okay, but the contract writer can be very evil. So they can actually set this function anything they want. They can set mint, but inside the function, you can actually just send if to their wallet for nothing. You know what I mean? So they can try to obfuscate this thing. They can make it very scammy. Like I think just now the ones you guys saw, right? Like swap token or something. They probably messed around with the function. That's why it looks so weird. Yeah. So this particular function is called set base URI. Okay, these bracket things that are the inputs that you put into this function. This is a public. That means you can view it, and it's only owner. That means only the owner of this contract, which is the Adam Bomb Squad people or the dev, can call this function. Like obviously, right? Like if anybody can just go and change the URL, right? Then it like goes crazy. Yeah. So this is another function to try to calculate the price. So it lets you input how many tokens you want to mint. So you can mint 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it will return you a number, which is what is the price. Yeah. So if you sorry. So this is the input. This is the output, and these curly braces are what goes inside. What defines this. What this function actually does. Yeah. So require, right, is something like a prerequisite. Okay. So if that's why, right, smart contracts are really smart. Okay, so if you do not meet the prerequisites, right, you will immediately reject. Okay, the transaction will go through, but there will be a transaction failed, and you will still pay gas. So when that happens, right, usually it's because of one of these require statements has not been fulfilled. That's why you get a failed contract interaction status. So very, very frustrating sometimes. Yeah, which is why you should always read the smart contract to see what is inside the requirements, before you try to interact with it. Yeah, so obviously this one says that the public sale must be started, right? So if the sale is not starting, this is going to fail. And of course, like it requires that there is still tokens available, right? So if you have minted like already 25,000 tokens, you try to mint the 25th 1001 token, obviously it's not going to happen, right? It's just going to reject this because based on this particular statement. Yeah. So yeah, this is just setting the one token price. Yeah. So and then it's calculating for you, right? Yeah. So basically this is like some kind of mathematical function to calculate how much you're supposed to pay, right? Depending on how many tokens you're supposed to mint. Yeah. So yeah, of course this one is again, right? So the owner can call this function to start sale and pause sale. Yeah. So sometimes, if something goes really bad, like yeah, certain contracts, they can pause the sale. So if you try to mint during the pause sale, you're gonna get like this sale hasn't started, this error message. Okay, let's go down. So okay, this is the most important function for us, right? Most of us are NFT people, right? So the function means, okay, so you tell them how many tokens you want. Okay, it is a public function that anybody can call, not only the owner, and it is payable. Okay, payable means that, right, this contract, right, allows us to send ETH to it. Yep. So you can see that, right? There are a couple of requirements. It requires that there are still tokens available to mint. Okay, it requires that you mint 1 to 10 tokens. And then of course it checks that the amount ether that you send is correct. Okay, so all these are pretty important. Yeah. So then this is the mint function. Okay. So you just mint according to how many tokens that you are minting. So it's calling safe mint. Okay. So you're wondering where the heck does this safe mint come from? So this safe mint actually comes from the ERC 721 in the other one. Yeah, in the other contract. Yeah. So magic mints, okay, it's basically only owner, right? So sometimes the owners of the project, they might want to mint like some tokens for vesting or for future development, for skin in the game or for the treasury. Yeah. So they always run these kind of functions. So only the owner can run this. And as you can see, it's free, right? It's not payable, right? So it's a free means for them. All right, so I think we've covered quite a bit. I think you guys must be quite mind blown. Yeah, so I'm not going to cover the rest. The rest are actually open source contracts. They're actually using contracts that are pretty standard, that everybody uses. Yep. So let me just go down. Anything interesting to see here? Yeah, I think most of them are pretty standard contracts. Yeah, safe math is just a way that that additions and all that don't overflow. Basically, it's to make sure that the numbers don't go crazy when you try to input some weird number. Yeah, address helps to find out whether the person minting is a contract or is an externally owned address. So there have been a couple of interesting workarounds around this. So there are certain contracts that only allow one person to mint one, right? So there have been some smart devs, right, that actually create a contract that creates another contract that creates another contract. So essentially they can just bypass that and keep minting and minting. Yeah. So one way to prevent that is require that this is an externally owned account. But then the problem is, right, if you're using like a Gnosis Safe or multi-sig wallet or some kind of a smart contract wallet, you will not be able to mint. Yeah. So that's kind of a problem. Yeah. So I think that's about it for this one. Okay. So I think you guys mostly should be quite mind blown by now. If you guys are really mind blown, you can go back and watch the YouTube video. And of course, like I'm going to get my teaching assistants to cover this topic better next time, right? I'm not the best teacher, I'm sure. So I hope somebody will learn all this and they come up with a bit better teaching materials. Okay, so there are two modes of interaction with smart contracts. Number one is read contract, and number two is write contract. Okay, so reading contract is generally quite safe. You're just trying to read what is from the blockchain, so you're not going to commit anything, right? So as you can see, these are all the variables that was defined in the contract. So it's written out here for you. Okay, so the base URI is this particular string. Okay, so if you take this base URI, okay, and actually paste it in your address, okay, you actually be able to see all the properties, the metadata, the images, and all that of your NFTs, and that is really where it lives. Yeah. So there's been some, so there's been some projects that they actually wrap this string. Yeah. So I think there's been some projects, some couple great proposals going around in Open DAO, and some of them say that, right, maybe you can just retrieve all these tokens and then we can remint some of these contracts, like some rug projects, which I think is like such a great idea. I hope these guys can able to bring some of these ideas to fruition. Yeah, such a great idea. So anyway, sorry, I got sidetracked. Okay, let's go down. Yeah, so has sales started? False, obviously, right? So the minting has actually finished. Yeah, so if you look at some of the functions are actually quite useful. So for example, the owner of which token. Okay, so if you want to see who owns, for example, Adam Bomb number 200, right? Okay, so you can search up this one. So this particular person owns this. Yeah. And what else is interesting here? Okay, so token by no, not this one. Yeah, so token of owner by index is a function where where most of these websites were used. You try to find out how many NFTs you have and which are your NFTs. Oh, it's lagging so badly. So I wanted to. So I'm going to paste it right here. Yeah, so if you iterate this number, right? Okay, so in code, right, we start from 0. Okay, so this is one of my tokens. And usually you can just increment that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you'll be able to get to all your tokens. And how do you know how many tokens you have, right? There's this function called balance of. Hey, is it balance? Yeah, right here. So if you paste here, yeah, so I got 109 atom bombs. So yeah, it's the hundreds, right? You got to buy 100 of these atom bombs. So anyway, so yeah, those are the more notable functions that you can read from the contract. And this is really advanced topic. Okay, so this is called writing contract. Okay, so writing contract, right? is some kind of blockchain interaction. Okay, so this is called contract minting or contract interaction. So this is really for advanced users only. Okay, so what you can do, right? Okay, you can connect to your Web3 wallet. Okay, so they're telling that okay, fine, it might blow up. Okay, so by doing this, right? Okay, you're actually directly pressing the buttons from inside the contract. Okay, but just now you didn't see so many things, right? So where did all this come from, right? Okay, some of these functions, safe transfer from, right, actually comes from the ERC 721. Okay, so for sometimes, right, I actually prefer to, interact the contract. For example, I want to transfer, for example, token 10982 or something, right? Okay, I might just want to do this directly right to the contract. So, but of course now I'm like, if I write it like that, I'm actually transferring from myself to myself. Okay, but you can actually put the receiver's address, and you'll be able to send through. But of course, the prerequisite is you must own the token. Yeah. So let's try to look at what is MetaMask trying to show us. Okay. Okay, so this is called a contract interaction. Okay, so you can see this little box, right? This is the function that you're actually calling safe transfers from. Okay, so if you're really curious to see where is this safe transfer from coming from, I can actually show it to you. It's actually inside one of these. Where is it? Okay, yeah, skip it. Okay, you can see this transfer. Yeah, I think this is not safe transfer from. Yes, but it's one of these functions. Okay, so you're actually calling one of these functions. Okay, so and then you are interacting with the Atom Bomb contract. So I've already interacted with this contract a lot, so I've actually saved it, right? So it means that you have actually read it, you give it a nickname, and every time you see this, you are kind of like, you feel safer. And you can also view on the Block Explorer, which will lead you back to the same contract, right? So that's, safe. And then, okay, luckily nowadays, okay, MetaMask is trying to tell you that this transaction is expected to fail, okay, because I actually don't own that particular token, So if you see this, right, okay, and you see this crazy gas, right, okay, you're probably not going to try it, okay? If you're going to try to send it, right, it's probably not going to consume 6 ETH, but you'll probably fail. And you will spend like maybe like, $20, $30 for a failed contract. Yeah. So if you look into it, right, okay, so what kind of data are you passing in? Yeah, okay, never mind, we'll skip that. Yeah. So for some people, right, who are like advanced NFT users, right, okay, they will do this thing called contract minting. Okay, so when the sale is actually available, they directly mint from this. Yeah. So there's like absolutely, no way you guys can beat some of these guys. They're just faster than you, right? And it's also much safer. Yeah, because as you can see, right, what they show on the website might not actually tally up with what they're doing at the back end at the blockchain. So that's a very, very important concept. But that I want you guys to understand. Yeah, so always look at the back end, look at what's beneath the hood. Yeah, if you don't understand, ask somebody who actually understands. Yeah, so this is how the contract means. So this is definitely way faster, than most of you guys. And I've actually come to the end of this. Are there still people alive, or are you like mind blown? Or is this too simple? I'm going to open the floor up for any questions. I think you guys can. Oh, somebody's got a question. What about free minted NFTs? They have no contract at all, or they're using the provider's contract. Oh, okay, so there's a kind of okay, the open store contract, right? Okay, let me see whether I have some of these NFTs. So there are some NFTs, right? They are minted by the open store contract. So those are generally pretty safe. Yeah, but yeah, they might not be worth any money. So they're using a shared contract. Yeah, that means they didn't deploy their own code. And well, I mean, if you do see this kind of NFTs, usually, I'll just skip them lah. Yeah. So if somebody is serious to sell you an NFT, the least they can do is write a proper contract. Spend 0.5 ETH to deploy it and to get the code audited. I think that's the bare minimum.
Hey, given the importance of Solidity, where would you recommend people go to start learning the basics?
Oh, right. Well, okay. There's this thing called crypto zombies. But I think there's a little bit too hard for beginners. Yeah, but I actually like that, the application. Yeah, or you can just try to read as many contracts as possible. Um, so most contracts are meant to be quite human readable. Yeah, I mean that's the point of smart contracts. Yeah, it's for everybody to be able to read it. But of course, I'm not going to recommend you to read like the Uniswap contract. that one's going to blow your mind. Yeah, so cryptozombies.io, I think it's quite fun way to learn and it's free.
Awesome. Thank you.
I think the Bankless DAO is trying to come out with a smart contract literacy workshop package as well. Yeah, so I'm sure there's a lot that's coming up.
I think that Chainlink also has a YouTube series on Code Academy or Code Camp or something like that on YouTube. They have like a 4-hour crash course or something like that. So that's another good one to check out.
Yep. If you guys have trouble speaking, right? You might need to set up push to talk. I think on this server you have to click user settings and you have to click voice and video and configure push to talk.
You do, I believe, also need to set up a key binding so that you've got a key to push.
All right, that's right. Vinci man guy, sorry, can you speak up?
He said I saw in the contract like 2 safe key transfer or something, and I just wanted to ask how can you know which one is the right? If you look at the contract.
Yeah, actually both of them.
Yeah, exactly. There are 2 of them. So which one? Right one exactly? Where is it safe?
I think both of them will work as well, but this one allows you to put in some data, but you can don't key in this as well. I think both will work. Yeah, data is just like, I think it's just a way to, sorry, actually, I don't know what it does. It probably is just to write a message or something. Yeah, it's for certain marketplaces, contracts to interact with this.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
amazing again. Thank you for the time. Thank you. Done again very much.
Yeah, welcome. So I think there's been some like talks around the contributors. We are like very inspired by the Bankless DAO, who is creating like a Bankless Academy. So I think we are also thinking of creating something like a Open DAO Academy. So I'm just thinking, like how we're gonna do this, right? So yeah, we're still like thinking. So I don't know. I think it might be something interesting. Like you also be very cyber resistant. So maybe like it's like it takes a certain kind of effort to try to attend like these blockchain lessons, every lessons like that. But maybe if people like complete these workshops, it makes them we can recognize these people as like recognized members of the Open DAO community. Maybe we can like yeah, we can kind of like give them like a stamp of approval, like okay, these artists or these guys, they are they are well trained, they know how not to lose their keys to to their mint wallets. So I mean it's quite common actually, you see artists minting and then suddenly like they get rugged or they lose some ETH, right? So yeah, this is not unheard of. Anybody else got any interesting questions or anything you don't understand or any feedback to give? If you're too shy to talk, you can write in the chat as well. I think we've got a couple of folks on the YouTube live stream as well. So if there's anybody there, you can swing by and pull out some of the questions there. You are the goat. Thanks. Yeah, but like of course these scammers and these guys, they are always like they're always like upping their game, so their modus operandi becomes more and more complicated each time. So yeah, I want you guys to, just be ahead of the game. Yeah, but if you can learn how to read smart contracts, I think that's really the best. So also we were considering, right, whether we should put a page, like all the scams, right, all the known scams, you put it in the same page. But yeah, but we consider against that because it becomes like a repository of the scammers will just go out there and pick and choose their tactic. So yeah. Yes, you will be able to use the YouTube link to watch again. So I think we have come to the end of the hour. I'm gonna stop the live stream, and we will transit to just